So you see all these people on your page going viral, and maybe you've tried to replicate what they're doing, but didn't really see any real results. You try again and again, but you just can't identify what it is that you're doing wrong. Well, I spent the last 2 years in a loop of frustration, posting haircut clips, crossing my fingers for a viral moment that magically would bring in clients and bring me cash. But then I realized that I was missing this one thing. Then it hit me. This one thing that I've been missing, it was more than just posting videos or better content. It was understanding the psychology on how to approach social media. Suddenly, I wasn't just posting haircuts. I wasn't just chasing followers or the algorithm. I was leveraging social media as a tool. I learned how to turn this tool into a marketing machine that turns viewers into high-paying clients, transforming my barber studio into a 6-figure barber business. And funny enough, the followers, they started pouring in effortlessly. So here's my promise. In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly the 3 mindset shifts that you need to make to start using social media the right way. And if we haven't met, I came to this country nearly homeless, started barbering at $35 a cut. Fast forward 5 years, I've mastered social media and amassed 1.3 million followers, charged $250 minimum per cut, retired my mom at the age of 21, and won 4 kickboxing fights. Let's get into what you came here for. The first is the consumer and the creator state. Now, every single barber suffers from this one problem, and it's procrastination. It's like literally a disease. I call it the modern day plague, because being in this state of waking up, phone, in bed, phone, being in the toilet, phone, it puts you into this consumer mindset where you're literally just the one consuming everything, where you're watching. So being in this state consistently every day, you're in a reactive state. And for us barbers, creativity is at the root fire of our core for us to be successful. And you'll never be able to create beautiful content, quality work, grow your business if you don't switch into the creative state. This is the ability to have free-flowing ideas and where you're literally just coming up with things and executing on it. The greatest inventions of this world is when ideas are flowing. Things like you're in a proactive state. So reactive means that you're just consuming everything. Proactive is where you're actually doing something ahead of time. And consuming everything on the internet literally kills that creativity that is in barbering and the nature of why we became barbers in the first place. Being in this creative state allows you to be the one that is creating the videos that other people watch instead of you being that sheep, right? If you are just watching videos mindlessly, then you are literally just the sheep of this world. Whereas the person that is in the creative state is the fox. And to know if you're in this creative state is how fast can you turn a thought into reality? How fast and what's the distance between thought in your mind to it happening right in front of you? And the amount that you can decrease the time and the distance between thought to reality, that puts you at an advantage. That puts you into the creative state. That is that fire that lets us going, that ultimately pushes us above the norms. Because at the end of the day, we are all unique, right? There's not another person that's going to be like you. If I tried to be like you on your best day, I won't be able to, just like how if you would try to be me. So that creative state gives us that edge. And ultimately being a consumer, it nullifies it. It's like water to the fire. It goes completely ashed and smoke just goes and you're dull. The habits of a person that just consumes is just mindlessly scrolling. They don't even understand what they're watching. They're just going through. They don't even remember the last 5 reels that they have watched. Whereas a creator, that person analyzes the content. They understand why the content blew up. So when you're scrolling now, switch into that creator state where you're actually aware, you're understanding where, okay, why did this content blow up? Why did this one didn't work? Why did I scroll off this one? Whereas this one, it actually caught my attention. What made it? What was it about that video that made me hook onto it? When you analyze yourself and you analyze your content, you not only understand like the content formula, but you understand human psychology as well. And that's what it is. Human psychology is at the deep root of why we do things, why content even blows up, because content is manufactured. The biggest, greatest viral content, the biggest companies in the world, they understand what makes you tick. So For you to understand that first, you have to understand yourself. So analyze the content. And I promise you that once you start doing this, you'll notice a huge shift in the way that you're consuming the content. Because instead of brain rot scrolling, you're actually critiquing content. You're like switching your neuroplasticity to think deeper than just watching, deeper than just staying on the app. You're now being in an observing state, being aware, being present. That's what being present is, observing everything in the environment. Same thing is now you're observing everything that you're consuming. That turns into a lesson rather than just something that you watched 5 minutes ago. Another thing that you can do to exercise this is to build a vision board folder. So on Instagram, every time that you're watching something that you see that's like, damn, this is fire. I actually really like this. This content was nice. You want to save that and in a folder so then you can recreate it. So start using Instagram like a tool, because these social media apps, they're literally a tool for us to use. It can be a tool for a person or it can be someone's entertainment. Which one are you going to choose? The businessman, the person that pushes the business forward, is going to use it to his advantage, leverage it, learn how to use it the right way. Whereas the person that just a sheep is just going to be brain rotting away and killing his brain cells. Which one are you going to choose? And that's why using Instagram folders and using these like resources and features that they give you, you're not only strategizing, you're creating your vision board. You're creating how you want your brand to be perceived. And how you can do that is just looking at other creators, right? Scrolling and seeing, okay, cool, this guy had this light in there. Okay, this guy had did this type of vibe to his content. I want to take bits and pieces of this. I want to take a piece of this, and I want to put together and make my own content. You see, nothing under the sun is new. They've just done it better. So you just create your own brand by taking little bits and pieces, because they say stealing from one is plagiarism, but when you steal from many, it's research. So use social media as a tool for your research to make your brand an unforgettable one. And the thing is that I remember when I was starting to create content, and the reason why I was stuck, I felt like I was in this shadow band realm of views that can't surpass 3K views, right? And it was because of my mindset. Because at the root of it, if I hit one video that goes viral, I can't make it go again because I don't understand it. I'm not aware. So attacking this psychology of your mind, of the content psychology, of the viewer's psychology, that is the ultimate route to getting successful social media, successful attention, because this is an attention economy. So to get attention, you have to understand the psychology. So the reason why I was in this invisible wall of limit surpass was because I was in that 90% of people that just scroll. I would create content part-time, but I was a part-time consumer. I was a part-time sheep to the matrix. When you come out of that is when you start becoming the creator. You start creating videos that other people doom scroll to. And that's where the shift happens, where the monopoly starts happening. And when you break out of this consumer rut, ideas just come naturally. Brain fog just clears up. And the procrastination of actually executing on that idea almost gets completely eliminated, and your ideas come to life. The second on this list is become the director, not the dreamer. Now, you probably had a client sit on your chair, stiff, awkward, and thought, man, this client is ruining my video. Trust me, you're not alone. I used to think that shy clients would be the issue, that I couldn't get viral content. But here's the truth. Your current clients, they're not the problem. The real problem is your approach. You're missing a crucial mindset shift of understanding the psychology behind how to lead and create confidence in your clients. Your ability to guide your client and take control of the recording session is what shapes the content that you want to create. You have to take advantage to direct your client to bring that idea and that vision that you had to life. When you understand the psychology of confidence, you stop just recording haircuts. You start creating stories that sell. Your clients look better, your videos resonate, your business grows. The key is simple. Shift your mindset. You're not just a barber, you're the director, and your client is the model. When you step into that role, you control the vibe, the energy, and ultimately the outcome. So clients don't naturally just know how to like be confident. They don't know how to, approach like being on camera. So you have to be the one that guides them through that process. So things such as like where to look, how to act, you have to empower them, right? You have to give them, being able to influence someone to be able to feel good is a trait that every barber must develop. And at the end of the day, you have to be lighthearted. You have to give some humor, make them laugh, create like a comfortable experience. You have to be able to allow your client to open up and invite them to laugh. For example, you can say things such as like, man, I know you're a lawyer, but today, bro, you're my model. And then they can like giggle and invite them, right? Invite them, like laugh, share some energy. Because at the end of the day, barbers, we're cool people, right? We know how to talk. We talk to people all day. If anything, it might be even our second profession. You can say something like, you don't got a girlfriend? Don't worry, bro. You might have one after this. Or you do have a girlfriend, bro. Like you gotta hide your girlfriend, bro. She won't let you outside the house. So really just like allowing yourself to have fun. These simple phrases can like break the ice and invite your clients to join in on that vibe that you've created in your studio. And once you capture that on camera, everyone will be able to desire your service because damn, like he created that experience for that client. I want that confidence because at the end of the day, you're not just selling a haircut, you're selling an emotion, you're selling an experience. And oftentimes with the right clientele, people value that more than just the tangible money. And I remember when like one of my shyest clients came in, and it was actually my first time, right? He barely spoke a word. He didn't even like, you guys know that one client where they just don't say anything. They're like a true robot. But when I reaffirmed to him that he looked good. I reaffirmed that, damn bro, this looks fire on you. And I did give him a fire cut and I showed him the cut. And when I told him, bam bro, like yo, chin up for me and tighten up the jaw, I was like, yeah, that gave him that smile. That made him smile cheek to cheek. And by the end of it, he was like gassed up, right? Because people, they like, at the end of the day, people come to you and they're excited to see you. So you have to create that experience. Every day, they don't get that. You think they get that with their colleagues? They come to work and their colleagues, like they're dreading to go to work. But when they come to you, they're looking forward to it. So you're right off that momentum. And the thing is that with that one video and that one client that I recorded that was super awkward, it brought in so much high-paying clients because that same video, it went absolutely viral because I transformed his confidence by the way I directed his haircut session. And I like to use this one strategy. You can have a full stack of A-star celebrity actors on a movie set. But if you can't direct and the director can't control and guide everyone, the movie will be full of yawning, really. But it's the one that has like 7 out of 10 players that know how to coordinate and direct the whole session. That's the person that makes a top 2 movie. So when you adopt this director mindset, instead of becoming the dreamer that helps a new client that will come in and say all the right things, that has the perfect hair, that has the perfect like confidence, that wants to be on camera. When you adopt the director mindset, you control the outcome of your whole life. And the thing is that like, this doesn't apply just to content. It doesn't apply just to haircuts. It applies to the way that you use psychology to help other people. But what it also does is that it builds trust with your clients and attracts premium clients into your chair, picking you over everybody else because you're that person that makes them feel like an A-star, like a 10 out of 10. Instead of the person Joe Smo down the street at the local barbershop. They choose you. The next on this list is speak your client's language. The biggest problem that I see when barbers start growing their business and start creating content is they speak towards other barbers. They create content for other barbers, but they don't create content for the person that pays them the most money. And that is your clients. Even all the way to the words that you use in your content. Like things such as like only barber jargon that we know, like clip over comb, half guard, taking out the zero line. Doing all those things doesn't appeal to a client. Really, all a client cares about is that, what is this going to do for me? What value am I going to get from this? How is this going to help me achieve what my ulterior motive is? They don't think about what's actually going to convert the client rather than trying to impress and look cool for other barbers. That just makes you look cool. And you can make cool content, but cool content doesn't convert. So if you want your content to fill up your chair, have a packed schedule, you need to sell them their dream, not yours. When you start saying these jargons, it actually creates a disconnection with your client because they're like, what the heck does that mean? What does that do for me? What is that? So when there's a disconnection, the client will click off because like it doesn't relate to them. So you need to create content that actually relates to them. So saying things such as like, okay, getting this cut, doing this type of technique will allow you to have a chiseled jaw so then your jaw can pop out even though you got a double chin. That speaks towards their problem and then actually solves their problem to give them their desired role, sell them their dream, like allow them to achieve their dream. Because if they see your content and they book with you, that means that they're able to get that desired result. So using simple and client-focused language like this will sharpen your jaw, this will create a facial structure, this will increase your confidence. If you get this cut, you will achieve this. And that's what they care about most, not the technique, not the fancy like gear, but the result. Early on, when I first started like creating content, I used to use like a bunch because I thought it was cool because I was in the niche, right? I was in that field, but I realized that I only got attention from other barbers. It's like gym bros. Like, you know, when you go to the gym, everyone like really, who really cares is like the compliments is the gym bros that are around the gym. Whereas other people, they don't really care. It's the same thing. So the shift happened when I started using the language that my client used in my content, because then it actually speaks towards them. So what you can do as an actionable step is actually speak towards your client and use that same language that they use when they're speaking to you, when they're in the consultation process, you're using that like same language. For example, they're like, oh bro, like I have this stuff sticking out and I want it to be like flush. You can use that exact same thing that they said in your content, because then that will speak to more people, because that's the language that client use. So for example, like when someone comes into your chair, right? They don't ask you for a taper, mid-fade, keep the C-cups. They don't know all this stuff. They just say, yo, can you make it look like this? Can you make it look good? Because they don't know any better. So you want to stay within that range. I've shown you the psychology of how you should approach social media. But here's the thing. That is just the tip of the iceberg. If you want the complete system that helped barbers like Brooklyn triple their income in 60 days and scale to 25K months, click the first link in the description to watch my free presentation. Inside, you get the proven personal brand strategy, a dedicated content team, and the system to be able to raise your prices in literally 90 days and double your monthly income. If this sounds like you and you're interested, click the first link in the description now and I'll see you inside. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you got any value from this, and I'll see you in the next video.